Hi, my name is Krish Advani, and today we're going to talk a little bit about client-server architecture. The client-server architecture is a very famous terminology in networking, in computer networking, and it's actually formed by two different entities. One is client entity, and there will be the server entity. The client entity is actually nothing more than just a computer which has a user behind it and eventually tries to contact or tries to make a request to the server. It's just a simple machine. There can be multiple machines which can try to access to a similar server. Now, in order to client to contact to a server, there's a need of certain thing like an address, domain name, or some kind of information in order to get to the server. Normally, it's an IP address or a domain name. So, the request is made to the server. Now, the server receives this request and processes this request. Now, it processes this request in order to get a response. So it will get a response and send this response to the client itself. So eventually, as you can plainly see, it's a request-response thing. It's a two-way handshake, as is also known as, because one goes in one way, which is the request, and another comes back as a response. So that makes it two-way handshake. Now, there are clients are only of one type, but servers, there's a variety of types of server. It can be a web server, it can be a print server, or many other types of server. It depends on what kind of service do you want to provide. And there is a logical division of it. It's like two-tier or three-tier client-server architecture. The two-tier architecture actually is a very simple one, where there is directly a client accessing directly to a server. There is nothing in between, it just tries to access it. Now, this has several drawbacks. It might have some security issues, and it actually gets a little slow if there's a huge traffic directed to the server. But on the other hand, the three-tier architecture is much more efficient. There's a middleware in between the client and the server. So any request made by client goes to the middleware and then to the server. Same response made by the server goes back to the middleware and then to the client. So something is in the middle. This is basically what client-server architecture is. We use it in many applications these days, but we do not notice it. But the fact is, Google, Facebook, all of these are actually trying to use a client-server. We are the client, they are the server, and they're trying to give us some kind of service. We make the request, they give us a response. But the simple fact is that the server performs a lot more operations than a client, and the server is not just responsible for sending a response to the client. It's also, in the response, it also contains certain things like cookie information, session information, and a lot more. And another thing is that the server has to be online for 24/7 available, and the client can turn itself off. So that's basically client-server architecture. Now, it gets a little bit advanced if you understand how it actually works and what kind of software gets involved, how the packets travel from here and there, what kind of protocol is being used, and so on. But that's a little bit of advanced things. But I'm just over here explaining the basic concepts. So anyway, this has been channel Dr.Caos. I hope you like this video. Rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much.